This is Tyson Ray, financial advisor at Forum Wealth Advisors, where we exist to help make life better for our clients and those in our community. This is up or down for August, and as the summer's coming to an end, the market again is still heading higher. In fact, it's flirting back with the all-time highs that were placed back in February. And a lot of people don't understand why this is. How can things continue to be improving? And I want to share some perspective that you're not hearing in this negative news media filled environment that we're in. I want to talk to you about the coronavirus. And what you can see in this chart is as we've had an increase in cases, as we opened the country back up, we didn't have the increase in deaths. This is something we're learning to deal with, and as vaccines and as therapies and treatments continue, as we understand more, this is becoming less and less deadly. Still a problem. But I think America as a whole is getting very tired of this, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to live our lives, have our freedoms, while still dealing with the coronavirus. Well, to the markets, this looks like a very normal recovery, because in 2009, tracking out the first 100 days, compared to now 2020 and the market's recovery in the first 100 days, they're not exact, but they're very close to one another. And what do I want to tell you is I want to tell you that there are so many people that panicked out of this market, that sold their shares and went away, that are sitting in cash, that missed this rally. And my concern is they're going to miss it for the future, into the future, because a lot of people panicked out of the financial crisis. And that market went up for almost a decade. And people forget this wasn't a financial event. This wasn't an economic event. This was us shutting off our economy that caused this recession. And it may just end up being the shortest recession possible because we didn't shut off the economy for very long. And what does that mean? That means this market could continue on for who knows how long. And what's going to fuel that, people say? How can this keep going on? Well, again, I keep pointing to this cash. And I thought I'd show a little perspective here from going back to when my career started back in 1998, and how the growth of cash that we've sat on has kind of accumulated. And all of a sudden there's that spike at the end of that chart where all of a sudden there's all this injection because we shut down the economy and the market tanked, and yet all this cash got put in the sidelines. And what I want you to see in that chart is that peak, it starts turning over. And if that cash goes back in the economy, that cash buys a car. That cash, look at I drive past car dealerships. There's no cars in the parking lot because they're selling them all before we can produce new ones. If that cash goes back in the economy, that cash goes back into building new homes, that cash goes back into consuming things, if we can actually start traveling again and go on vacations, that's what's going to fuel this economy. We're getting economic data that's coming out, real numbers that are really positive. That's what's going to fuel this growth. And you're going to continue doing what we've been doing for decades as a country, growing as a people, as a society, and as an economy, and as a market. And the market's anticipating the future, and what the market's telling us, the future's looking pretty good. You need to continue to ride this out. For clients, we raised cash, again, to take us now through September of 2021. For those of you that panicked out of the market, you need to think about how you get back in. If that was your long-term retirement money, because earning nothing on the sidelines is not a good idea. For those of you that are caught up in the media and the news, please understand every day that's going to skew your perspective on how actually things are getting better. And as far as investing goes and the markets goes, if your advisor is not bringing perspective like this to you, maybe you should explore a different advisor. And we'd be happy to have that conversation. With that, this is Tyson Ray, financial advisor at Forum Wealth Advisors, where we exist to help make life better for our clients and those in our community. Until next time.